Hello, and welcome everyone to another tournament match for Azure Dreams Rocket to the Top 2. I am Shawnee7188.
And I am Programmer.
And we are going to be we're going to be commentating this wonderful match between Sand Knight and Baldwin, two titans of this game. I am putting money on Baldwin this time. Sand Knight has been in too many grand finals for my liking. I would like to see him earn it by going for the loser's bracket.
Well, I would say that both runners have definitely earned their places here.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I'm just more biased towards the guy who knocked me out of the tournament for last match. That's all. Not
that's
bitter.
An understandable bias.
Yeah. So we have, I do believe they'll be going soon, I think, with the delay, right?
Yes, I've given the countdown in our race
there we
chat,
go.
and there they are.
Huzzah. So this is Azure Dreams. This is a PlayStation 1 game. It is a roguelike city builder, dating sim, tower climber, mystery dungeon game. And it is fantastic, but it's extremely difficult. So when we made this tournament rules, we have it as a best of 3. That's the little pita fruits you see on the bottom there. Not apples. Pointed that last time I was watching a match. They're not apples. They're pita fruits or roche fruits, however you want to call them.
Oh, I mean, well, they could be Juro pita fruits for all you know. But
That's true.
I think for a hype match like today, we see that there's some hype in chat, and I think for today, they've got to be definitely roche fruits. It's just that good of a match. We've got two Titans of the North clashing here.
Yeah, Baldwin is no stranger to tough matchups for one, but neither is Sand Knight. Sand Knight. Sorry, we should explain what just happened there. This is the D randomizer, I believe we're officially calling it now, or what?
We call it basically whatever fits the purpose. So right now it's a D randomizer.
All right. Basically, thanks to Programmer here, we were able to have a fixed seed tower in a roguelike game, which, again, we never thought was possible. And because of this, both players will be seeing exactly the same maps. And they both went different directions off the start, so that's why all of a sudden everything's different right now when I'm saying this. But you get you get the same 5 items for every climb, and that doesn't change. And Programmer put the elevator right above everything, so you don't have to even do the tutorial floor. And also Queenie shuts up too, I believe.
That's true. I'm actually planning on, after I take care of some other more urgent business, introducing an option to make him shut up even more, so you don't have to mash through his intro text quite as much. But still giving you the chance to name him, because, we can see here that at least some of the runners like to, a streamlined here on Sand Knight's side. It's going to be fun.
Oh, this might be a trap room.
It very well may be a trap room.
Nobody fell asleep. There's an upheaval trap again. So this is most likely a trap room. Do you want to explain how trap rooms work, or traps in general work?
Sure, yes. So the game picks a number of traps to distribute on the floor. It's based off of the number of rooms plus a dice roll, basically. And, there are a variety of different traps: a poison trap, a paralysis trap, a sleep trap, even one that turns you into a frog. But 1 in 4,000, or every room has a 1 in 400 or 4,096 chance of being a trap room, where the game just basically fills it with traps. That it's based off the size of the room and a dice roll, and just makes it super nasty. I saw recently that the game has even some special codes, so 1 in 256 of those trap rooms are just completely filled with bomb traps.
Yes, which are hilarious, because if one goes off, it sets off another one, which then sets off the other one, and it looks like a barman map just getting cleared. It happened to Captain Luigi a long time ago, and that was perplexing. And also, on the whole trap room idea, we actually did find out why Beldo does, or we have a hypothesis on why Beldo's not spawned on floor 31, and that is because possibly the trap rooms.
Yes, I do believe I have confirmed that basically Buildo on floor 31 is spawned in as a trap, and the trap room logic just basically completely bulldozes over him. But yes, I do see that stray sine wave, and it does feel sometimes like half of one's runs. I think we are also seeing another sort of rare event here with an item room, or potentially not. It'd actually be pretty low for an item room.
It still might be a lesser one though. Like it doesn't seem like it'd be. Was that plus 4-3? Because we can't see it on Baldwin's side because Baldwin is already past floor 3.
Yeah, Baldwin's going at a pace where he's clearly feeling comfortable. I don't think the nerves of facing off against a tough opponent like Sand Knight are getting to him at all. He's executing things well and just kind of powering ahead. Sand Knight here really taking the time to explore floor 3 a little bit more steadily and grind up a little bit more before going up. So we see some stylistic differences here. That's one of my favorite things about Azure Dreams is the stylistic differences, that every runner has a different approach to playing.
Yes. And like I play... Baldwin plays probably closest to me because he does incorporate AI1. Sand Knight will only incorporate AI1 if he really needs to, but for the most part, he'll just swing and just take damage, which drives me insane. And I'll explain what AI1 is in a sec. I know Darcis was exclusively mixture magic only. Full featureitis. She's meticulous, but she doesn't like fighting, so she tends to avoid monsters at pretty much all costs and turns the camera a lot. Well, again, I don't. You see that on Baldwin's side, him turn the camera and see what's coming up. What other runners? There's like Don Fargo has a slow and steady pace. Like this, every runner in this community has a different playstyle. There is no one guaranteed. You're sure to win if you do it this way. It's just how well can you survive before the tower kills you. And Absolutely. This game is very difficult for that.
Yes. I've seen plenty of players mention that they don't reach double digits, and I feel that I myself am just awful at this game.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was actually going to call it my brother Junkyard Dave. When I challenged him to do an Azure Dream speedrun, he never did see floor 9. He kept going to floor 8 and dying repeatedly. So it is an extremely difficult game to say, you know what, I'm just going to go up to the 40th floor, because not only are you the weakest thing in creation, you don't have the resources, and even if you do have the resources, like the warp trap there, Sand Knight, anything could happen in the tower. Thank you for proving my point there, Sand Knight. So when a warp trap happens, you lose Queenie for a very brief second. Thankfully, it didn't warp him too far away, but you can have complications from that. 17 4. Okay.
So definitely fortunate that Sand Knight didn't get too far away. Also had grinded up a little bit, so he would be able to Queenie would be able to survive potentially a little bit. But getting up to floor 10 is so difficult because as our runners will soon be seeing, they'll be coming up to the water floors 6 through 9, where they will be at the disadvantage in the elemental triangle.
Yep. And basically from floors... I'm trying to think, what would be the next safe? The next safe floor after that, it's like 10 is a good place to get experience, 11's okay. You want to go up to 14 or 15, but then there's new wells and stuff. But I think the next safe-ish floor for getting experience is 17, then kind of 22 to 24, and then basically you're not fighting anything anymore. Like, you're really not fighting anything anymore. Like,
right.
Eventually you're so overpowered, you're so underpowered compared to the overpowered monsters. It's like, there's a 0% win rate if you just try to duke it out with some monsters.
Right. We did see Sand Knight here use a trap loop to be able to identify those traps, not only not to get hit by them, but also uncovering them does give you a little bit of experience. Not your familiar, but you. You also saw Baldwin a little bit back use a fireball charge from that starting kit of 5 items. That starting fireball has 5 charges on it, and he was at half-life and taking out a flame. He probably could have finished that interaction without using it, but would have put himself at the mercy of a potential crit ending his run. So Baldwin clearly, while playing fast, playing a little bit cautious.
Yeah, but Baldwin, again, he does tend to play very straightforward, but we can see Sand Knight exploring floor 5. That is because this is the last floor, although it's a very small floor, that they want to explore. Because like Programmer pointed out, once you hit 6, 7, 8, 9, basically the rest of the tower, you really don't want to be sticking around for too long. You want to kind of just find the elevators and go. Thankfully, he's fine a bloom. He could have just left it and just took a hit and gone up, but...
Yeah. Clearly, wanting to get a little bit of XP while fighting on the high ground. This game does have high ground, low ground advantages and disadvantages. Fighting from the high ground is equivalent to having the elemental advantage, so it can be nice in some cases to take advantage of a sleeping monster. Definitely not something that all runners will do. Some runners will say, too scary for me, I think I'll pass, but these runners, we see Baldwin doing the same thing, using that to get up a little bit more experience, get up to the same level as Sand Knight at least.
Never played a vanilla, let alone the rando. Well, I have a Discord link for you. This Discord link is I did not hyperlink it right because that arrow's there, so I'm sorry. That Discord link, which is much betterly made, is our link to our Discord, where you don't have to be a player of this game. If you're just a fan of the game, you want to chat with the people, you want to hunt glitches with us, which we're going to start up soon-ish. We'll figure that time out with that. If you want to learn how to do the other runs of the game, like book lists or the first to 10, 20, and 30 floors, 100% is a thing, which people have done, and Hextree actually took the world record on that one.
Yes, crazy. By a whopping 4 hours.
Yeah, I gotta throw my hat in the ring on that one, because theoretically if everything goes right, I could probably do it in 4. But
wow.
Yeah, I have to have like the perfect
Baldwin's side. The monsters are immediately nearby, but those blooms are closing in.
There we go.
Using nice techniques to make sure he stays more or less equidistant between the two, and also choosing not to just wait in place for fear of making the monsters close in too quickly and not stopping soon enough.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out who's 27.
Ooh, Sand Knight's getting a little bit low on HP here. He should be fine. Just taking steps, but if he comes up against something, he could be in a dangerous pincer situation. Actually, he might. Has he used his medicinal?
I don't know if he did.
Okay, well, he can make it to the elevator, and Kuni should be fine by himself for a little bit, but that is...
Okay, that is sketchy.
Yes, and normally you'd want to wait on the elevator with no monsters around to regenerate a little bit of health. Here...
he has 3 medicinal herbs.
Oh, that's fortunate.
Yeah, okay, so... Yeah, Sand Knight, I was pointing out to the programmer, we're actually kind of taking bets on... We're not taking bets, but we're saying who do you think has the advantage. Sand Knight tends to think after moving every now and then. So there'll be an odd miss move every now and then. But the thing is, he's incredibly well thought out at the same time, so it kind of goes back and forth. Also, Baldwin's been on floor 8 for a really, really long time. And I think after... we're going to try to do a pickup. Okay, Queenie can't take another one of those, I don't think.
Was that a dead end room that the elevator was in? I kind of missed...
I think it's actually the room that Sand Knight's in right now. No, it's not.
It looked like it was I didn't see if Baldwin had turned his map. As you mentioned, some runners do, some runners don't. But it did look like it was kind of in a corner, and it was clearly the last room he visited. It's like, finding something you've lost. It's the last place you look.
Yeah. Ooh, steel sword.
And there's that frog trap.
Yep. Queenie's gonna try to defend Sand Knight. You can't stop that. When you are transformed into or sleeped or paralyzed, your monster will immediately go into... Oh, he actually should have walked in front of... Or he should have walked into Queenie to push him. So this is what happens.
Down goes Queenie.
Yeah. Also, we'll be mispronouncing the little blue guy quite often. I think phonetically, both me and programmers say it wrong, according to what the Japanese one is, but there's just a frog for Sand Knight as well.
As if to rub it in.
So,
choosing here to switch over his shield, not cursed, so that copper. Ooh, it's a copper +2, so at least a little bit of defense. Baldwin's using the same thing.
Will he bank on the... He's going to try to equip the Iron Sword as well, so he's kind of... Well, he has a decurse scroll. That's not that bad, then.
Yeah, and a Streamline...
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
He put the familiar bell down.
Oh.
There's no reason for that anymore. A familiar bell... Yeah, that was a dead-end room for the elevator there, too. On floor 8. Yes. I'm wearing the baby shoes... Baby shoes never worn poem as well. That's very good.
Famous illusion.
So the familiar bell, like with the warp trap, if Sand Knight were to use it after being warped, you'd get Queenie teleported to you, or likewise, if Queenie were to be warped, he'd warp back to you, kind of thing. But without a familiar, there's no real purpose. So he just kind of put it down, knowing that he's probably not going to find Restore Scroll, which is a very rare drop. And if he does, he's going to want inventory space to use it right away. Yes, Baby Shoes Never Worn, very, very shortly, is the world's shortest short story. I think it's Mark Twain. Anyway.
That sounds about right.
We're learning stuff here today.
Yeah. Baldwin, moving on to floor 12. He spawns in the room with the elevator. We'll see if he's at least scouting the items. We'll see if he... Nope. Choosing not to explore and look for that blue color, so he's not planning on doing fusion. If he is planning on using water strats and switching Queenie over to water, he will be doing so by trying to find a sea seed. Meanwhile, Zen Knight, fighting from the high ground, taking out that Dreamin', one of the few enemies he can definitely fight and get a little bit of experience, so as long as it doesn't put him to sleep. Hemingway, thank you.
Yes, Ernest Hemingway. Also, we saw Baldwin do the AI1. I never did actually explain it after I said I was going to explain it, so I'll explain it now. This game has a weird turn order to it, which is kind of perplexing to us every now and then, because if you throw a sword at an enemy, your monster will skip its turn, but if you command... you want to wait as long as possible to get rid of that slow trap. There we go. But if you were to set your AI to 1 for your monster and have an enemy approach it, your monster will stay still, but basically act as a turret. He'll then attack the monster that approaches him, but if you're behind him, you can pick up Queenie. That is a bad frog trap.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it is asleep. Oh, he's attacking as a frog. Like, that's really going to make a difference.
I mean, it's 1 damage. It helps. Not a lot of people know that you can attack as a frog, and it's basically hard-coded to do 1 damage.
Yeah.
But it's... I guess in some situations could be the difference, but here, picking up Queenie for a bit of safety, and he does find a sea seed, so we could be seeing some water Queenie strats. Ooh, and a rise out of that griffin is not what Sand Knight wants to see. He does still have 2 medicinals, I believe. Yep.
I think he's going to take it as a friend or use a fire crystal. Yeah, there's a fire crystal coming out.
Yeah, fire crystal, absolutely a good choice here, because I believe the Salamander has 48 attack, and it does not increase with your level, unlike certain other things like an egg bomb, which it is when you throw an egg at a monster, the monster that spawns to attack for you for that single turn will spawn at coast level plus 50, and spell balls, which also scale with coast level up to level 25.
That's a nice ice shield to find as well on the fire floors.
Yeah. And any shield, and I imagine Baldwin still has his decurse scroll if he needs it. I haven't seen his inventory lately, but you know, you always feel a little bit more safe putting things on when you've got that decurse scroll in your back pocket.
Yeah, you can see here he'll probably go for another AI1, or what's he gonna do? He's just gonna throw that. Oh, he's just gonna attack it. Okay. Oh no, he's water. I didn't see that. He actually changed to water now.
Ah.
He has Blizzard Sword. So yeah, do you want to explain the damage calculations that you found recently?
Sure. So we've seen both runners, or at least Sand Knight when he had Cuny available, attacking where Cuny was casting his spell, originally Flame Sword and now Blizzard Sword, while attacking to increase your damage output. However, the portion of, as a percentage of the increase, the increases start to get increasingly small as Cuny's spell level goes up. And so for the longest time, this was not known, and most players would keep Cuny as a fire familiar because Cuny is natively fire, his spell is natively fire, and when you change him to water or wind, his spell won't level up as before until he is changed back to fire. So, but with the discovery recently that I made that the increases are small, beyond level 9 or 10 or so, and get increasingly smaller. Runners are now switching Cuny over to water, and that makes dealing with fire enemies a heck of a lot easier. Dealing with water enemies easier as well, and because all of your damaging spell balls are fire, they help you take out the last form of enemies in the elemental triangle, which is wind, fire being strong against wind, and therefore giving you a great way to progress.
Sand Knight really banking on wanting to hatch that egg to the point where he's constantly picking up these griffins and failing to do so.
Yeah, each pickup has a 5 and 8 chance of succeeding, and Sand Knight, I know he uses his resources, and HP is a resource. It's a renewable one. It's not endless, of course, but he's just not getting very much respite here. I think he would have been better off potentially throwing that griffin down the hallway, and when he saw it coming towards him, throwing it to the other side there, good. He could have also thrown potentially an unused item. We see here on Baldwin's side on floor 16 that he is approaching a Barong. The Barong, a wonderful enemy. He's got a coin right here. He can feed it to that Barong and get a random item. And the wonderful thing about that random item is it is without respect to the item's rarity. Each item that can be gotten has an equal chance of showing up.
Yep. Also, as I wanted to point out, Sand Knight could have actually walked with the griffin a little bit, and then he could have made the griffin look a different direction and then thrown it. But he kept throwing it when it was looking back towards him. So after it landed, it would just walk which way it's facing, which would walk right back to Sand Knight constantly. So if he would have taken that extra time just to move around and make sure the griffin all of a sudden was facing a different direction, then throw it down the hallway, it would have been fine, but not really.
Yeah, a lot of different. Yeah, Volcano. It's not what Sand Knight wants to see here. definitely would have been looking for Garuda maybe to be able to use the abduct ability, or there's some minor bug in the de-randomizer that changes some of the monster ability names so it becomes abduct with a U. Still haven't quite figured that one out, but it would have been a nice find. Volcanoes, they do have very nice attack growth, but spawning at level 8, that's not going to do much, and because you mostly want to be using mixture magic, I believe the volcano has Mountain Burn, which just blows through MP like none other.
No, poops rocks, and you have to fuse something to unlock it. I think it's breath, if I remember correctly.
That could
Breath
well be.
Or either way, yeah, it has something that isn't really optimal. Also, seeing Baldwin just rip through Minivas on floor 17 feels so good with the Stream Wand. And he has a Wind Seed, so if he wants to, he can find a Golf Wand and switch that up later if he really needs it.
Absolutely.
Sandknight finding another Stream Wand passed over a C Seed, so I'm sure he's just regretting losing Queenie due to that frog trap.
Yeah, and I mean, he can't at least feel too bad. Ooh, and stepping on a blinder trap.
Cure All Herb, there we go.
Yep. But, I don't think that you mentioned about potentially being able to push CUNY. I didn't know if you could push CUNY as a frog. And so, at least in my opinion, that loss of CUNY wasn't down to misplay.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
So, but yeah, I know that from Sandknight's playstyle, he can definitely get in his head of, if only this hadn't happened, and hopefully he's just plowing forward and not thinking about that. Letting the C-Seed skitter into the wind.
And we see Pickett's doing a massive amount of damage with that weapon, or the elemental triangle, doing still 1 damage, which means you really don't have to worry too much about Pickett's doing 2 all of a sudden to you. Although, if you have an Ice Shield, they will do 2 to Ko, but at this point, Queenie's so strong, you don't really have to worry about them at all. Oh, we just fed the Plumpa egg to Queenie to get his MP back.
You don't have to worry about them if you have a familiar, but we see Sandknight having to absolutely worry about them, as one has purloined his Tumna fruit, using a Blaze Ball here to dispatch this Picket. So he may decide to use another ball charge if he sees that Picket come along, but he's here in the elevator room. There's a Miniva on his tail. I think he's more likely to hightail it, and let the Picket be satisfied with his prize.
Minivas are one of 2 monsters which appear 3 times in the tower. It's odd to say that because there actually is another one which we don't really consider, but it is there. But Minivas, when you see them, they're always a pain, they're always horrible, and they only get more tricks. And the other monster which always appears throughout the tower 3 times is actually the Balrog, which we actually don't really consider because it's on the 16, 26, and 36 floors.
That's true.
And I always thought of we always have the reoccurring, he's gonna go for the...
Yeah.
All right.
Let sleeping wee dogs lie.
Yeah. We have Viper Town now. Plumpa only appears twice, technically, as groups. Because you have the initial ones on floor 1, and then you have the 22, 23 group that come up. But they actually don't appear in 3 separate occasions like the... Ooh, that's a decent warp... Okay, nope, there's a spider. Hello, spider.
55, ouch.
He has the Plumpa egg, the egg bomb still.
Right, choosing to use a Tumna fruit instead turned that spider into a frog. I think there's a parable somewhere in there. But that'll buy him at least 16 turns of peace, and the frog is at the end of the chain, so even if he has to take another hit.
A nice killer ball between 2 wind monsters following him.
Yeah, But as you mentioned about being able to take out Manevas easily, we see that Baldwin is also able to take out Vipers easily. They're still, quite nasty things that you do not want on your tail, because they can still lower your attack. But was that a one-shot on a wee dog?
I think it was, actually. And we see here Sad Knight just trying his best just to get rid of all these threats here. I don't know why he's not using the Fireball, and he's using the Blaze Ball. But...
Well, I think that the Fireball is stronger, and he knows how many charges it has, so...
True.
Saving that Fireball potentially for later. And although he probably could have gotten by with, using their Blaze Ball charge on the that Wee Dog to finish it off. Here using the Mazar Seed to power up a little bit. And he has been doing a decent job of trying to keep pace with Baldwin. Obviously, he doesn't know where Baldwin is, whether Baldwin fell victim to the same trap or not. He passed by that red sand, and as he runs away from this Viper now, probably... using the Wind Speed, turning it to fire, letting him take it out with a single Blaze Ball charge. Very nice play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, being able to change the enemy's genuses and stuff like that makes all the big difference. But unfortunately, the seeds are only one-time use. If there was some sort of spell ball that did that, that'd be phenomenal. But, I'm talking about a vanilla game too. But suggestions, though.
Yeah, no, it's true. I recently, some player in the community suggested, a rough idea for an item to me, and I've, thought about, can I add something else into the game? I've already, you can use the randomizer to add portable elevators in, and who knows, maybe we'll see another fun addition joining the repertoire of items. We see Sand Knight picking up that Steel Shield. I don't know that he'd risk switching over because Copper Shield +2, it's already giving you a
good amount of defense.
Yeah. Maybe he's using it to chuck later, or...
Wait, so Sand Knight's going to hatch another egg. He did pick up one just on the side there. It also, just to point out, and this is just the way Baldwin plays, because again, every player is different, he never sorts his inventory. He needs to know what he picked up at what time. So if there's two pillar balls and one's at the front of the inventory, one's at the back of the inventory, he knows which one's which. And it drives me insane just watching his inventory and he has the egg as his third item and stuff like that. Where normally when you sort them, they go to the back. But there you go. You can see his inventory there. Everything's spread out as he found it.
Yeah. Well, I know that some runners prefer that because they want to know for sure that, this particular blinder ball is the blinder ball that I get later, and so I can trust it more because spell balls that you find in the tower do have a random number of charges between 4 and 7, if you've already used 4 charges on it and haven't used the truth glasses on it, you should treat that ball as suspect.
Yes. Also, yes, you see in the chat that you can sort the inventory in this game. Yes, you can. Normally I sort things, but if I'm suspect of something, I'll actually pick it up with the have command, sort my inventory, then put that back in, so I'm suspect of the one that's in the end of the inventory. But finding items and just seeing how many you have of spell balls or sands or anything like on Sand Knight's side is easier to see when the inventory is sorted. We have 2 zoos on Baldwin's side, so I think he has enough firepower, fire magic to get rid of them easily.
That's true. Zoos,
Oh, that's
yes.
Okay.
Just about to say.
Change the AI. He's lucky.
Oh. Now down to AI.
That's paralyzed now, because that's 3. There goes Queenie.
And,
Okay, he's fine again, but that was a never screw around with zoos.
Yes. Don't screw around at a zoo. Don't screw around with a zoo.
That blaze ball literally cost him Queenie. Oh, he has Restore Scroll though, so what does he care? Okay, just bring up Queenie. Sorry that happened. But oh well.
It's okay, buddy. We'll dust you off.
Yeah. Okay, don't use the blaze ball again. Use a holy scroll. He's just gonna take him as a friend. So what happened there is the zoos will roar at Queenie, and it will lower his AI by 1. Baldwin put his AI to 3, so it went from 3 to 2 to 1. But since he was paralyzed, Queenie was always defending. And because of that, once it hits 1 and goes down to -1 after a further roar, Queenie will get paralyzed. So the good strat to do is you set the AI to 5. So if it goes from 5 to 4, he'll still do his normal attack as if he was dealing with... Balrog. That's very nice too. You can still do an attack like you're supposed to without, Ko being paralyzed. And you always want to keep it at 5 to 3 or whatever, so if you do the attacks and stuff like that zoo is going to get in the way. Don't do that. What are you doing?
Now, I did not catch what floor Baldwin picked up that Restore Scroll on.
I'm pretty sure Sand Knight skipped it. I think Queenie would be out immediately if he did find it.
Well, obviously, it was just a question of whether, he picked it, say, up on 26 itself. So.
Also, they're both on the same floor right now. Sand Knight actually is bringing this back right now.
Oh, yeah. Sand Knight's been keeping pace. He's been doing a great job of, say, going for the pickups when he has HP, trying to use his spell balls as appropriate. There, he decides, I'm not going to mess with that zoo. Fireball takes it out in 1, and he's even been keeping his level up pretty well by picking and choosing which battles he fights and which encounters he runs away from. Has not gotten good luck with his eggs being able to get a good replacement and managing to juke those monsters. Setting not to go for the pickup on Zoo and using his flame ball instead has enough to take that out.
Oh, Sand Knight. What are you gonna do?
Fire Crystal, yeah, that's the trouble with the Fire Crystals. It kind of goes its own way. Maybe it will, occupy the snowman.
There's a zoo there.
Zoo, so that's useful. Egg bomb to take out the snowman, or well, not quite.
No, but the fireball should be able to clean it up. Yeah.
Yep. And Salamander occupying that snowman, unfortunately, does turn it around sometimes when it hits, but taking it out, so not too bad there. But he has been having to expend fair number of resources on this floor, which is not what you want to do when you have limited resources, having to use 2 charges on that flame ball. Flame ball, pretty weak, but...
Oh, he has a stealth. Stealth is really good if you were to fuse it against hidden ability and make it fire, because it causes an earthquake that hits a 9x9 tile in front of it. And it's not 3x3, it's a 9x9 tile. It is a disgustingly large earthquake. And I used to love using it as a kid, but stealths are kind of useless, and Sand Knight's not... He could just leave.
He could.
No, he's going to sack Volcano, hopefully. Because, there goes Volcano. Goodbye, yep. Volcano.
I'm not quite sure what that accomplished.
I think he was hoping the Volcano would kind of lure him, but the thing is, I think he kept walking, just making a miss move each time, and I don't actually know. I can't... Oh, okay, that's a Holy Bell room now. I know he has one in his inventory if things go wrong.
Oh, you could just go right on by. However, we did see on Baldwin's side that at least right next to the elevator there is a prison trap. And so if Sand Knight is not careful, he could go into that room with a monster train. Thankfully, he does have the stealth, providing at least a modicum of protection, and he steps right around that paralysis trap onto the elevator. No idea he was even, potentially one hex away from death.
Yeah. And that's the fun thing. We know what's coming up, because we see it on Baldwin's side, or the person who's in front. Sad Knight just... No, that's going to take a hit. He could have picked up his stealth as well to prevent the hit there, but then he wouldn't be able to do much by holding it.
It's true. It's one of those monsters that you do not think you'd be able to pick up, this massive thing, with drills for arms, but yeah.
Was out there? I never knew that.
They turn as it goes. Seem to be free rotating, sort of. They're boring structures of some sort. We'll say that.
Yeah. Can he get out? Can he get out with the trap? He can. There we go.
No, because that's a diagonal at the wall. He may be able to, though, maybe pick up his stealth and maybe the... the snowman's blocked off, but the Mandara, not quite so much, as it triggers a bomb trap. This might be a tiny little trap room, or it could just be two traps happen to roll into the same room.
Yeah. Naples is being terrifying by sleeping.
Yeah.
Why don't you pick up the poison ball? Come on, Baldwin.
He did have the inventory space, but
yeah.
I think clearly he's, pretty focused. He knows that, Sand Knight's not going to be giving him any respite. Ooh, Mandara's hit hard. Stealth taking it out with damage. 3. Yeah, the stealth at the elemental. Ooh, walking.
Oh, so that's a Maneva at that door there. There's 2 spell balls at the door.
Yeah.
So, goodbye stealth. You're probably not going to survive this overall.
Right.
Oh,
at least
there's no trap room on Baldwin's side. You now know that Beldo spawned, so there's no trap room.
That's true. So, we'll see if Sand Knight here.
Yep, the one, so he can safely pick up that one. There you go, there's the poison ball. Sand Knight, mana culture as well. Yeah, for those who don't know, poison ball will obviously poison the monster that you hit it with, but their HP will stop decreasing when it hits 1. So if you use it and just walk away for a while, eventually it's just a monster that has a single point of HP, which you can just throw, a seed, not a seed egg, because it'll get consumed.
He's got a spare shield. He could throw that.
You can kill him safely from a distance, and it does affect like a 9x9 tile around in a room. Definitely, I was gonna say you should definitely look at the scroll there for his block literally going up. Props to Sand Knight getting up to floor 31 with the luck he's had. Baldwin's booking it up right now, though.
Well, we know that at least any elevator trains that Baldwin finds, Sand Knight will also find. That's throughout this tournament, as the matches have been de-randomized, we've
dear,
trap there on Baldwin's side.
Oh, familiar bell. He did not put down his in sadness like Sand Knight did. Oh dear. Peter Fruit, that's good timing. He probably needs a refill for his MP. We never did explain MP for the monsters. That's a bad trap there. When you have your MP hit 0 for your monster, it starts flashing blue, falls to the ground, and you can't do anything with it. It's like the hunger meter in mystery dungeon games. Holy Bell? Or Holy Scroll, maybe? Because the golem's coming as well.
Right, well, he may... Yeah, and actually, I don't know what should be...
Ice. He's not going to be able to fight the golem very well.
Right. I mean, he's going to move to get the high ground advantage at least? No? He's using his flame ball. Okay, that's
that's going to just absolutely nuke golems. They're really, really brittle when it comes. Okay, sure, you hit that dragon, meanie. Also, monsters will always move on the left-hand side, so we can see there Baldwin knowing which way the golem on Egg Road will actually walk.
Yes, and at least in the hallway, yeah, we've been seeing them kind of nearly as soon as they can spawn. They can spawn kind of every 5-6 floors. It's a little bit more complicated than that. But I have done more cruel things, Mr. Jelly Doom, but I love the idea. Jelly Mr. Doom, I'm sorry.
I suggested to programmer a while ago, if everyone loves go up traps, why don't you make them go down traps? He's like, ooh, I'm like, that's just evil. So, actually, we should actually link as well your website so people can see how many features are actually on it. Which is something I can't explain anymore, because it used to be like, wow, it made things similar. Now, there's a lot more that you can do. Like a lot more. As well as there's, I believe, a suggestion thing on there, too. If people want to suggest horrible ideas to put people over.
Yeah, they can submit an issue in GitHub. The code is open source. It's entirely free, no advertising, no tracking cookies or anything like that.
Oh, there goes that stealth.
Yeah. Oh. And it's gone. Sen Knight knows, even if he loves to play risky and play greedy, there's no way he's gonna have any chance of checking that egg.
Oh, jeez. That ice shield just... He's... If he... I know the elevator's coming up here. But the thing is, he knows that... Okay, he's just gonna go. I know Sen Knight would probably consider... doing a loop around trying to get that egg.
Yeah.
Oh, hi!
Now, we may see some slightly different spawns because the game doesn't need to spawn in a familiar on Sen Knight's side, and so the monsters could be in like slightly different positions, things along those lines. But we see Sen Knight still on the same floor as Baldwin. Getting up to 35 without a familiar is no easy feat.
There's no easy feat
with someone. All. Yeah. And keeping pace with someone who's using the very latest of strats, I've got to hand it to Sen Knight. He is...
curling.
Yeah, he's been playing a blinder, though.
Yeah. The thing is with... like, we can't stress how good both these players are, but we actually never pointed out. Baldwin actually is a world record holder for any %.
That's true.
So, this is, like... Sen Knight is a very, very accomplished runner. Baldwin destroyed a 3-year-old record by, like, 4 minutes or something. So, it is ridiculous. Also, if he ends up dying to curling, that's probably going to make him just flinch. During his last race, he ended up going 39 tiles down the hallway. Does he have any fire left? Okay.
He's got his pillar.
He has a white sand as well, so he's going to have to use that up if he does anything else.
And we've not found any, binding balls or... I don't think that Sen Knight got to pick the blinder ball. We see Sen Knight...
oh, jeez.
Ooh.
Oh, jeez.
He's found the welcoming committee. He was looking around.
Yeah.
Where are they? But he's got a few resources, but he's probably going to use the Chimna here. Yep. On the golem.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Golems hurt so much.
But he is...
And now he's turning his camera.
Well, he had been turning his camera before a little bit. I've seen him play, and kind of use it to scout around.
Dear.
Yeah,
that might be it. I don't see any more. Again, if he were to use a poison ball, like if he had a health, he didn't have health.
Right, and he didn't have the space. So he's re-equipping the ice shield because he's going to try to, if he's going to get hit by something, he's presumably thinking that he's going to get hit by the maximum here as he uses the pillar ball, hoping for it to have sufficient number of charges. It
does.
Whether he'll be able to, switching back, yep, that pillar ball has charges. When you see the ball flashing like that,
that is
getting through
clutch.
by it. Just Harrison's chinny chin chin.
No, not
meanwhile,
yet.
Baldwin here up on 38.
Yeah.
We may see floor 40 yet. Although, definitely not the sort of room you want to walk into.
He's more or less fine.
charges.
He is still the water genus, so the maximum is actually going to be no real problem for him, which is kind of weird to say.
Yeah.
He gets, here's the AI 1, there's 2 free hits, change to AI 3, and finish it off without taking any damage. It's slower, but he another dragon, he's going to do the exact same thing.
But it gets the job done.
The dragon turned around because it was in the doorframe.
Wow.
That might be something we can exploit later too. Why did it do that, even though it was technically attacked?
Well, but right now I'm focused on this tense moment here. Baldwin spawning in the room with the elevator.
Holy scroll and going. There we go. Done.
GG. What
That
a
is
match.
Plus
Would
one for
you?
Baldwin.
I will go inform the runners.
Yep. Yeah, that is. I want to give Sandknight some time still. We still have 10 minutes in this match. He's doing great. I don't want him to stop. But he should know that he has lost the point. But yeah, that is. And now we're gonna see if Baldwin can beat Beldo. Do you think he'll be able to beat Beldo? Chat, what do you think? A binding ball, okay. Sandknight is taking a stroll. He should turn around and use the binding ball right now. Yeah, there we go. Then the dragon should be able to walk away. Well, that, and also, he didn't have Queenie for like 20 whatever floors or whatever it died on. Nope, he's just resetting.
Yep.
I don't think he had much of a plan there, so. Yeah, he says in the chat, I think that's fine. I think he accepted his fate there. That is a crazy. Was it 37 and 40?
It was.
Yeah, that is Baldwin not finishing off Beldo, just losing blood. I think Baldwin got to the top at like 50-10 or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was. I would say I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, but I felt like standing up at some points and just shouting, "Go, go! You can do it! You got this!"
Until, Stealth got sniped by a trigger-happy dragon. Because do we know how an invisible Stealth acts in blocking monsters? Do they still attack the space, or do they think it's an object and turn around?
I've
never experimented with stealths. 0464. Okay, they're both good then. Yeah, I saw it there.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, this is how we can confirm they were playing on the same seeds. Also, unlike previous tournaments, they're not allowed to talk to each other. Like programmer said, like there's no communication. They're not supposed to watch the stream or anything on those lines, and they can't have people communicate to them. And we're all pretty trustworthy here. We're not gonna. I know both Baldwin and Sandknight, and we're not going to be. That's not going to be an issue. But unlike the other tournaments where we'd be in call with each other and just having a good time laughing. Like, God damn. It's like, I found this blank here or whatever. It's like, oh, well, I found a Scarlet one on floor 2. It's like, oh, aren't you lucky? Now, since it's a fixed seed tournament, if you're like, wow, I found a Scarlet one on floor 4, it's like, oh, I'm going to steal that. It's like, I know where to go to get that. And like, I'll make sure I explore that floor. And like, that's a problem because yes, it's now. We see the name game happening here on Sand Knight side.
That's something that I absolutely treasure. That's because you can deciding to change from 37 to 40 clear. I like that. Because timing starts outside of Ko's house. We can name 1 sec as of countdown.
Yep. So I'll explain again for all those who are new here and stuff like that. This is Azure's Dreams. It is a PS1 mystery dungeon roguelike game, and it is absolutely brutal. So this is the Rock Me to the Top format. This is a best of 3. Baldwin got the first point by climbing to the 40th floor, which please do not think is normal. It really is not. If you want to try it yourself, try to get the blue color on floor 12 in one go. You will really see how difficult that is.
Yeah,
especially because those are Krakens around there and stuff like that.
Right. It's a great challenge for a first-time runner, and you're likely to pick up a win seed along the way. We see both runners are off here. Of course, the game does not tell you that you will need a wind seed to escape the tower.
Crystal.
Sorry, yes, wind crystal. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say wind seed. What are you talking about? Like, oh, yeah. That's fine. Yeah, wind crystal was it 25% chance of spawning on an item slot if you don't have one in your inventory or something, but it just never appears or something.
Yeah, if you have fewer than 2 in your inventory, each floor will have a bonus chance of spawning an additional item, which is a wind crystal. Originally, I was thinking that you'd be able to potentially have 2 in your inventory to maximize your chances of getting another item, but because it's just tacked on to the end, there's no benefit in doing it except to potentially see fewer crystals. Yeah,
the name game being strong on Sand Knight's side. He's taking a small time loss by naming Queenie. Baldwin doesn't tend to name Queenie. He just tends to go straight up the tower. Most of the community will, like, I will always name Queenie Trash. I'll always name Ko Beldo just because it makes things very confusing later. Or I will say I'll name Queenie Guy, the father's name, because I'm Canadian, not guy. But I'll name him Guy, and then I'll say Betrayal's Never Forgiven. I'll abandon Guy at the top of the tower, just like Dad. Oh. Also, again, I have to explain my poor joke. I do name him Trash, not because I dislike him, even though I do. I prefer other monsters. But when you take him out of the bag, it says you've taken trash out of the bag. And that's the whole sole purpose of me naming him Trash.
I did not know that until I heard you on commentary earlier in the tournament, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's just a really bad joke. That's all it is.
Well, I mean, we always have thought that you're pretty funny, Guy, so.
Yeah. Well, it's like a name. It's like Guy Lafleur, one of the best goalies of all time. So. It's also the same with Lufia too. His name is Guy, not Guy. But America's
just having a little bit of fun here. Diamond Shield here.
Oh wow, that is very nice for the runner. No, I think Baldwin will find that when he goes up to the top room there.
Yep.
Yeah, floor 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, these floors they will explore, so we're pretty sure they're gonna find the stuff. After that, it's not gonna be very. It's gonna be just again trying to find the elevator, and also I never explained before. You see the camera panning. We'll see on Baldwin's side. Sand Knight actually in the lead right now. On Baldwin's side, you'll see the camera pan in to where he spawns in the tower. if you have close eyes, you can see that there was one room to the left of him. We don't know if anything was there because he's on the top right-hand corner of the map. If you think about drawing a big C, going from where it spawns the top left-hand corner to the top right-hand corner, you can then identify where you need to go in the tower to find the elevator. So if you spawn on the bottom right, you will see the top left, the middle left, and then you'll kind of see between the center bottom and the center as it goes down to the bottom right. So then you can think, wow, I saw no elevator or an egg. I should just go straight up. That way you explore. Oh, go up trap. Speaking of up.
Speaking of going straight up, yeah.
Yeah. Also, the one thing I always wanted to do when making these tournament seeds is I always wanted to turn the Beldo boss on. just so no one knows what the heck happens. And like, I'm going to finish the thing and just die.
Yes, that is an option in the randomizer to
have a real boss fight.
Although, yeah. He's got some tricks up his new tricks up his singular sleeve, so do be careful.
Singular. True. Yeah. Also, the other thing as well is a wooden wand. Okay, so again, we saw on Sand Knight's side he threw the sword, but Queenie never attacked. For some reason, it skips over Queenie's turn phase.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I never noticed
AI
that.
1 doesn't work if you throw a sword. If you throw a sword and the enemy walks into your range, Queenie won't attack. That's why I'm always perplexed by the turn order and screwing things up.
Yeah. So some people may have been wondering why they are equipping some things a little bit more cavalierly, and why Sand Knight equipped that Scorch Shield and then pretty much immediately took it off. That is because he has a decurse scroll in his inventory and wants to be able to see if that Scorch Shield is cursed. If so, he can immediately use his decurse scroll, so it's not cluttering up his inventory, and then, but otherwise just know whether he can switch to it at will or not.
Yeah. Oh, so we see a weak ball there. No one's going to pick that up ever.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the only things I can think for weak ball are, if a monster on a low floor is far away, you could use it a few times. There's potentially exploits. You could do a little bit, but more than anything, it's just something you can huck at an enemy to get it to turn around if you hit it from far enough away. Okay,
correction. There actually is one use for it that no one else does.
Oh, the Batnell?
Nope. Actually, yes, Batnell is one, but getting one... Oh, there's an egg to the left of Baldwin there. For the record. I don't know if you saw that on his map, but... Floor 6 could potentially be a good thing. Clouds now become useless because we're going to get into level 11 anyway, so getting a Cloud fusion isn't as good as we initially thought it would be. But
yes, although Sand Knight did point out that you will get the Clown's fusion magic, which does have a ranged capability, which is nice.
Right beside the elevator too.
Yeah, which I always think is nice whenever there's potentially really strong item. I like to see that it spawns next to the elevator, just so it's not something that's a runner on floor 6, since they're not going to be necessarily exploring that floor due to the scary water monsters like this U-boat here. That they don't pass it up just by having to turn left instead of right.
Yeah. So, the one use for a weak ball that no one uses, what do you think it actually does, just by chance, programmer?
I know the effect of the weak ball to lower a monster's level by 1.
Yep.
I know that you could use it to theoretically, if you are near the enemy that you're going to take out and you have a reflect ball, you could, bounce the weaks off yourself or use on your familiar to put them just below the threshold with just enough experience to go over and get double experience. So
here's the fun thing. You can use it as basically a telescope. It has a tremendous range. And if you use it into a room, the camera will follow the weak ball into the room. Exactly. Rick got it to scout. And it hits like 9 or 10 tiles up front. So if you use it in a hallway facing down, you can see what's beneath there very briefly.
That is clever.
No one ever uses it because it's really kind of useless, and no one really does that. But any information you can get about the tower does actually play out. And it's one of those things which just happens to... It's a very quick glance. It's not very useful because, for the most part, turning the camera does the exact same thing. But like, if you are concerned about like one room or another room, or if you're stuck in a room and you're wondering which path to go and you cast weak out the left side, and like, oh look, there's like 3 Krakens way out there. It's like, neat. I'm gonna go south. So it is a very small thing that you can do, but it is technically a thing you can do.
Well,
but again, it's not very useful.
Sure. Well, we saw Sand Knight there taking his U-boat for a walk, and then, seeing that a lonely Manivo was running away and giving it a friend. Sand Knight, I know that he's got a great instinctual sense of those monster HPs, so he knew that he'd be able to take out that bloom without getting into danger territory. Could potentially have been in danger from a crit from that Menueva, but it's going after CUNY, and CUNY's got the health for it, so no trouble taking that out. Baldwin here using his Palumpa Egg Bomb on the U-boat. You do start with that Palumpa. I should say that the egg color is still random, but both runners do get that exact same Palumpa with the exact same warming percentage.
Yeah.
Sand Knight here. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, there's also a small feature that is kind of unknown, because finding 2 of the same egg in the tower is actually really hard to do. But let's say you found 2, I think it's a brown colored egg for the Palumpa egg this time around. But if you found truth glasses and identified the Palumpa egg and went, wow, this is a Palumpa egg, I never knew that, in whatever sarcasm you want. If you found another Palumpa egg, it would actually be brown in color when you enter the tower. So you would automatically pick it up and it would automatically be identified.
Yes, that during that same run up the tower, you'd know that other, say, brown eggs, in that case, would be Palumpas. We see Sand Knight here doing a little bit of U-boat dancing to get to the elevator without having to take any additional hits. I've seen Sand Knight do some very advanced U-boat dancing lately, and props to him for not taking a single hit there. U-boats always are going to try to get the first attack on you. Runners still staying pretty close. Baldwin just about to enter floor 11 here, while Sand Knight dispatches the Dreamins on floor 9. Dreamins, I like the way that Deme puts it, that they're not even a very good enemy. No. But they can... if their sleep does proc, I haven't looked at the proc chances of that. And there's another monster nearby. They can't be deadly, but Sand Knight, they're getting the criticals and wiping the floor with those Dreamins. Yeah,
they're basically little sacks of, little bags of experience, basically. When you find one, you're like, okay, cool. Also, I think this is this is a true room floor.
Does he go for the glasses? That's the question. Yep, he just regens a little bit of HP. Heads up. Baldwin here, looking to see if he could get a favorable situation where he's not having to fight on the low ground. That crossbow troll, he knows, would only attack CUNY if CUNY were just directly in range. Because it always wants to shoot for code. It's got a little bit of a different AI, which, as some runners have found out, means that it ignores things like confusion.
Yep, which is quite a big surprise when you're one hit away from dying and you think you get a lucky thing, and it just turns and shoots you.
Yeah, it's absolutely one of the many, 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 many pitfalls in this tower. Even the an experienced runner can be surprised by certain things. Meanwhile, Baldwin here on the right, choosing to get in line with, but one step away from that, Kraken. Kraken's hit hard. They've got a decent amount of experience, decent amount of HP, but using the blinder ball will ensure that it moves in a straight line until it hits a wall, in which case it turns right, putting the space there so he knows he can do it safely. I love the fact that this game is both turn-based and plays like an action game.
Yes, to the point where we closed action RPG marathon with it before, which is perplexing because we're not. But the thing is, we move so fast, it looks like it. And that's a lot of damage from that Kraken. Thankfully, he's using a wand, so he doesn't get the hit back with the electricity as well.
That's right. Wands, especially a wooden wand like this, non-conductive, so the Kraken's electroshock talent isn't going to feed damage back in. Zenight's been getting a number of criticals here. I'm sure he's happy with that. I know that Zennight has said before on previous commentary that when he, is down the first game, that it can, put him on tilt a little bit. But so far he's been playing really well, and I see no evidence of that.
So here's the very scary thing. Sad Knight has won every single match because this is still within the first bracket of the tournament. He's always dropped a match. He dropped a match in Seraphil 4, he dropped a match in Hextree, and he dropped a match in Horza. So he could potentially still come back, as per his tradition of getting 2-1 for the best of threes.
Oh, unquestionably.
And we saw it before. He was without a monster, and all of a sudden, he got to floor 37. He's more than capable of taking this.
Yeah. I don't doubt that at all. I saw Baldwin choose to engage that volcano. I think he would have been able to sneak by if he had chosen not to, but I guess he wants the experience.
Ooh, Blaze Ball. That's always nice.
Yeah.
The fact both runners have a Diamond Shield right now is just great, because, before, I think Baldwin... Sad Knight was playing around with the Copper +3, which would have been basically 6 defense. They have a non-rusting shield that gives them 7, so all of a sudden Sad Knight has more defense than he did in the previous run. Instantly, from floor 2, they found it. And it will never rust, the wooden wand will never rust. They're both looking for an elemental wand still, I think.
Yeah.
So,
that would be a nice find. And I found out recently, I haven't done the testing to validate it in terms of damage numbers, but it did look to me like Slam Traps are not elemental, contrary to what we thought. Now, that Diamond Shield would not be helping Baldwin here out against the Sword Troll. Sword Trolls, when they attack, they ignore your shield. So Baldwin just noping out of that floor, heading on up. We saw Sad Knight
is looking for the blue collar.
Yeah. The blue collar lets you have a second familiar out at the same time, and that also allows you to do some shenanigans with fusing monsters together.
Yeah.
It's something where you will, potentially have to expend a little bit of extra time to hatch the egg. Ooh, and he does find an egg at the same time that Baldwin did not find, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Baldwin just blinded the Kraken and just left. So that means if this is a Garuda egg, this is why this is amazing knowing what's coming up and whatever, because we never saw much of floor 12. And we also saw Baldwin immediately leave floor 16, so he's not actually going to try to even grind for a Balrog at all. But,
right.
For all we know, now we have the blue collar on Sad Knight's side, and we have an egg that he found on floor 12, which has a possibility of being Garuda at this point. We don't know if there's a bunch of Balrog spawned on floor 16 as well that might come around that Sad might look for. So there's a bunch of what ifs now. And Baldwin, although having a floor lead, if in a big if, because it's not a very high percentage chance, if that is a Garuda, that lead's going to disappear very quickly. Especially if he wants to retake a game against Baldwin.
That's true. Now, this is a risk-reward type scenario, and he's hatching that egg.
Yep.
He's got to see what it is. It's starting out reasonably high, 26. It's good. Eggs start somewhere between 1 and 40% hatched.
Oh no, it's a dreaming. There's so many worse monsters that could be coming through the door there to delay you, but if you see a dream and it's like, okay, cool. There you go, some free experience to go back to hatch that egg.
Right.
Oh, he found a second egg as well. It was a floor 6 egg or something they found too.
Yeah. Could be a bloom. I know that if he has a wind seed, I know that Synite is a fan of fusing a bloom in and or fusing a monster into a bloom and then turning it to wind to give you a spell that gives you 100% chance of paralysis.
Yep.
Although I wonder if the fact that Baldwin made it to Kraken, not exactly what you want to see.
Not a bad one for a fusion spell, but the thing is, he can now. Okay, I don't know what he might be doing, but the fusion spell for Kraken is actually a decent one, if I remember correctly. It's not as good as other ones. Like U-Boat still has the best one for long range stuff, but I'm pretty sure it's still like a good strong ice spell for. I think it does secondary damage when you use it for mixture magic.
I will pull up my notes here.
Oh, so Baldwin did find a Scarlet one as well.
Very nice find. We should mention, as we have not yet mentioned it, that when you are using the one that matches the elemental attack that you're doing, Cyclone, it's something. You can fuse it in to make the MP drop reduced by half. And he is going ahead and hatching that Palumpa.
Yeah, so he will be doing the fusion. He will be unlocking the spells. I don't know between which ones. That's the thing. I think he might try to go for the Kraken spell, then fuse it into Queenie, and he might be trying to go for water. Oh, he also got a Cyclone.
Yep. That was
okay.
Floor 6 egg.
Yeah, so he can get basically double the MP. Although he will be turning Queenie into wind, which I'm not too fond of. Like, he needs to have a seed to replace that.
Sure, and he is also, although he doesn't know it, foregoing the ability to use that Scarlet Wand and get a bonus from having a matching spell element and wand element. He's also giving up a fair amount of time. We see Baldwin's made it up to floor 21 while Synite works on this fusion. That's a 9-floor lead. We see a wonderful trick here that Baldwin's doing. He's thrown this egg on the ground, which distracts the vipers, because as in real life, snakes like to eat eggs. And so a viper completely ignores Baldwin in pursuit of that egg. We do see here, Synite has done the fusion.
Queenie has electric shock. Also, there's a lot of like real life things. Like the vipers will like to eat eggs. If you have a griffin, pickets can't steal from you because that's based off a legend. What was the other ones?
Oh, well, so the Barong is an entity from Balinese mythology that brings luck. The Mandara, I believe, is based off of the mandala patterns. The dragons eating metal. So, plenty of things.
The thing is, there's a lot of nuances to this game, which most people will just pass right by over them. And again, now there's a huge lead. Sand Knight's gonna really have to push it, and the only thing he really has to show for it is basically Electric Eel Queenie.
He does have a deal wall. So he is here using it, you can see, to get 100% paralysis. It only lasts a few turns, but it's, guaranteed, and there aren't a whole lot of guarantees in life. And this is one of them. So, I think your attack could still miss, but with a wand, you've got something like 99% accuracy. It's
oh, cool! So all the times I've died because of the random miss is a 1% chance. That's nice.
Yeah, you can check.
This game hates me at times.
Oh, it hates everyone, Shawnee. So,
well, the thing is, the one thing which I should point out is I accidentally put up a prize of me versus whoever tournament winner is, and I'm terrified of everyone still left. So. Like between Baldwin, Sand Knight, Horza, Pule, it's like all four of them I am just terrified of. And we are actually wrapping up the tournament. Like we actually are going a little bit by a little bit, and only a couple more weeks left, and then we'll be done.
Yeah, but until then, we hope you continue joining us for matches. Also, ones like this, we see Baldwin getting sucker punched by a stealth. I will say that, at least in some circumstances, those can be terrifying monsters. Not quite as terrifying as being pincered between two vipers, using the Olim here just to wipe that viper off. Ooh, that prison trap is not what Sand Knight wants to see.
Sand Knight. The thing is, Queenie's no longer fire. So, goodbye, Queenie. Oh, dear. After
so long doing those fusions, that's gotta sting. He will be able to get out of this, but he's...
Oh, that's a trap room, most likely.
Probably...
you don't really see two of them right beside each other, so...
And Sand Knight will definitely not out of this. We saw that he did really well last seed without a familiar, and could come across a restore scroll. So we're hopeful that we move on to a game 3. That's what I'll say, at least.
Yeah. There's also a good chance that they'll do a friendly third. Both these runners absolutely love playing this game, and there's 2 elevators in the same room.
And a big pita fruit. That is quite rare. I think that's when you get a normal pita fruit, I think it has something like a 1 in 16 chance of being a big pita fruit, but I see them much more infrequently than that. So
yeah,
I'm not quite sure what's up.
Never when you need it, that's for sure.
Yeah, a big pita fruit was throwing. Sorry?
The game is mean.
Yeah. So we see that the difference between the runners, Sand Knight is catching up here. Now that he's moving, just brought that what I think was something like at least a 10-floor deficit to
8.
Sorry, a bit of a coughing fit there.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm not that troubled at math, I'll say.
No, it's 8.
Yeah.
I play a lot of cribbage. 7s and 5s.
Yeah. We saw Sand Knight have the opportunity.
I can't repeat the comment in chat, but yeah, that's basically probably what Sand Knight's thinking.
Probably. At least turning the Garuda around, but that single tile hallway is not where you want to have a bowgun troll. That's one of the underappreciated things about this game is most of the hallways are not one single tile wide, which gives you a lot more options in them compared to some other roguelike or mystery dungeon style games. but when you do see them, they can be troublesome.
Yes.
Baldwin here using a... Oop, go ahead.
I was gonna say is like when you see a one room or one tile wide hallway, it's basically you have to make sure that you want to go down there, because if you get pincered, like again, you see this stupid troll just absolutely just sniping.
Yeah, and probably another Maneva there in the doorway. But Sin Knight not even getting very good dodge chances, because as the bowgun trolls get further away from you, they do have a greater chance of missing.
Yeah, which is actually kind of funny because they hit him, I think, 9 times on the floor. So
yeah, and we see Sin Knight stepping over the stream wand, passing by it with a little bit of sadness, I'm sure, but not getting good pickup luck on the spider there, having to use something. Yep, turns into a friend, and goes on his way with his spooper pal.
Yeah, they're actually some of the most dangerous things in the tower. They have double attack power, but the thing is they're naturally halved when you find them in the tower. If you ever want to have a really, really horrible fight, use a Hazak Herb on one when you encounter it. And you realize, wow, this could be so much worse. And I've done that a couple times just for, funsies, and also I've taken up a couple of those miscellaneous spells and evolved the entire floor to make a bunch of spiders turn into the Arashas. Don't do that. That is a very important decision.
Well, we see that this spider here has been doing yeoman's work, taking out these pickets. Pickets are a lot more troublesome when you have no familiar. As we see here, at least taking a medicinal, so it could have been worse. I know Sand Knight still has a ton of fruit that could have taken. So the yellow bar at the top, to answer Date Cerberus's question, is a representation of their HP. You can see that Sand Knight has a little bit of red to it, and now a fair bit of red to it.
And now a lot of red to it.
Just a quick indicator.
Olean fruit.
You do have the numbers above. Yes. Yeah. That is absolutely the right call there. Getting another egg. I do believe that could still be Garuda.
It is. It can potentially be. I love the fact it was a recovery ball, which you can't use on yourself after getting beat down like that. Between him putting down the familiar bell in sadness in the first round and getting beat up and finding a recovery ball, it's just very amusing to me.
Yeah.
We have Baldwin already going, like, Sand Knight's trying to get to Viper Town. He got a new well. That's okay. It's not the greatest thing for damage-wise. And he's level 12, so he can't really evolve it anytime soon. If it were to evolve, it becomes a very, very powerful monster named Batnell. We didn't touch on that too much. Once you hit level 20, once your monsters hit level 20, they're not fed the fruit that prevents change in fusions, because it also prevents change in forms in general. They will have... he's going to cast D-Heal and try to pick up again. He's going to try to get as much as he can from this one, but I think Sand Knight, if he misses one more throw, might die. But some monsters will evolve and become more powerful versions, and the Batnell happens to be actually... there's a glitch that gains more attack and defense than it does when it's evolved. I'm sorry, than when it's previously evolved. So you can then lower it. Thank you, Obi. You can actually lower its stats with the weak ball or a low down spell, and have it underflow, so it goes up to 256. So all of a sudden, you have an immortal creature that can heal you, that refills its HP on herbs.
And casual play, and if you're going to be doing a floor 99 run, either through the second tower or the randomizer's endurance mode, you'd love to see a Newell, but when you're playing with a 10-floor deficit, although again, Sin Knight doesn't know that, but surely he knows that he's spent a fair bit of time trying to hatch eggs and so forth. So, but he's doing everything he can. Meanwhile, Baldwin not taking his foot off the accelerator at all, getting up to floor 30 here.
Again, that's what makes Baldwin so terrifying, is he's able to just go. Like, he's very quick thinking. He knows how to survive as well. Although 3 killers around him at the same time might be pushing it.
Right, he has resources, but I don't know how many charges he's used on that blaze ball, and the blinder ball, not exactly. Although I think if he did use it, it would have hit 2 right turns and turned around. We'll see here. Oh,
4
3 killers.
4
coming.
killers around him.
Yeah. At least we know that with the seated tower, that Sin Knight should encounter the same thing, because I believe that was pretty soon off the elevator. Sin Knight here coming up to the elevator to 21. He's gotten great mileage out of that Newell so far. I think that it's absolutely proven worthwhile to hatch that.
Oh yeah, the
Baldwin
healing
here
makes all the difference.
Yep. That, and still able to cast Blizzard Sword, so it's still giving you additional attack, and he does have his wand, so getting some multiplier out of it. Baldwin here using that Wind Seed, great play to change the killers from fire to water. That blind killer is going to turn right here, and right at an angle. Interesting. Meanwhile, the Tyrants, I'm sure Baldwin's hoping that one goes berserk. Yep, there we go. That berserk Tyrant will, fire on his friend. Indiscriminate violence. And it doesn't seem to do that much more attack, and that crit also helps take it out. Very nice.
So apparently every monster is just moving towards Baldwin, but Baldwin now is going to be killing 4 killers and 2 tyrants that got in his way, and he blinded another killer somewhere. So this is ridiculous. I don't know. Sand Knight might want that spell ball. I don't think you should go for the spell ball. Just go. What are you doing?
He
wants a spell ball.
On it. He's using a fireball charge and a blaze ball charge. So he's banking on that potentially giving him an advantage.
No trap room on floor 31?
Choosing not to take the water ball. I probably would have taken it. Wow. So many tyrants. Tyrants at least you can pick up, and they can go berserk and take out their friends, but also we may be seeing one of the
glitches
features of the de-randomizer that you can occasionally see sets of 3 floors that repeat, because I see that same kind of crook there with killers, and if that's the case, what a set to get repeats on. We're not sure.
No, he's going for the Mahel Seed, so he's going to pick up Queenie and go for a walk. Take the hit. We'll do 2 more, and he's safe. And then he knows where the elevator is, though. Also, the other thing as well is the one thing that actually Full Featureitis pointed out numerous times in her interviews when she's doing matches. Also, Sand Knight paralyzed and dead.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's not what Full Featureitis pointed out. Fee pointed out when you're playing this, since it's a fixed tower, if you found something, assume your opponent went for it as well. And Sad Knight went for a lot of stuff I don't think he thought Baldwin would do, but that is game. Baldwin progresses, and we'll see if they want to do a friendly third.
Yep. We saw quite some ups and downs in that match. Sand Knight proving very resilient, but that was just rough to see.
Yeah, Baldwin having the new strats involving the Stream Wand, and then getting a Scarlet Wand and a Diamond Shield. He must be feeling really comfortable with these two runs right now. So, just Sad Knight just doing a couple odd ones.
So
Sad Knight trying to go for an easy win here.
We are potentially going to see a friendly third match. Yes. All right. We are
a crazy friendly third match.
Would you like to explain the rules while I
Sure. I wasn't trying to eat licorice or anything. Sorry. Teeth are chewy now. Anyway, so they'll be doing the friendly third. That means basically Baldwin is the winner. But they will be doing kind of they'll be doing a glitched entry. So they'll be leaving Queenie at the door, which is something that you can do by jumping up on top of the pool, or the pool house, or whatever you want to call it. And if you walk off a certain angle, you can get launched so high up in the air, you jump behind the tower, and then you walk beneath the tower and you hit the loading zone for the door, and Queenie's initial conversation never happens. So, they are going to be doing glitched entry. They have to use the Plumpa, so you hatch on the first floor. Either you or your Plumpa dies, you lose, and you cannot beg the Plumpa. So they're just going to have a friendly third at the most extreme levels right now, because Plumpas can't be bagged, means you're not going to get a second familiar till at least you get to floor 12. And Plumpas have like 6 HP with a level 1 or something. Like they die after one sled or something. Like they're really easy to die. So seeds look good to me. 36171. So I think we're ready to go.
Yep. I've just let the runners know. And I will be going on mute again so you don't hear my typing sounds.
Sounds good. Yes, this is an escort mission. They're doing an escort mission. They're trying to get the Palumpa to see its friends on floor, let's say 22, 23. When you see the other weird Plumpas. Either the Scary ones or the regular ones. But we're gonna take this Palumpa for a ride. So, for those who are coming, this is a friendly third of the Rock Me to the Top 2 tournament, which is a best of 3. Baldwin has already won, as indicated by the Roche fruits down there. I think after these matches, they're qualified to be Roches. They'll be getting the same 5 items, but they will not be getting Queenie this time around, because they'll be doing a glitched entry. I don't know how good Baldwin is at doing the glitch entry. I know Sand Knight's good at it, so there might be a slight time advantage on Sand Knight's side. But with this method of
entering the tower,
they're basically going to be in danger at all times. You no longer have Queenie to help you with the mixture magic or anything. And again, you're not going to find anything for a second familiar until you get the blue collar, at least. If they're playing as if Plumpa can't be bagged, it's probably not going to get to floor 10. Plumpas are very squishy, and so is Quo as well, so...
right, yes. And the...
Oh! How did I go?
Yep. Choosing to go over here to grab a pot, rather than using his pita fruit, you need some little added bit of height to get up onto this house here.
Baldwin got one go.
Yes, so Baldwin off to a little bit of a early lead here, but he has given up his Pita Fruit to do so, and the Plumpa has, I think, probably the lowest MP of all monsters with a max of 40, where Sand Knight has kept his Pita Fruit. So I think Sand Knight's pulling out the awesome strats here. As you see Sand Knight, in the floor, while CUNY's just waiting on the other side of that door to talk to you.
Yeah, and now we're gonna hatch. Oh, Baldwin started his inventory. Oh my goodness, what is happening in this game?
I guess
he knows that button exists apparently. He just never uses it. Calling out Baldwin.
Yeah. Well, I will say that it's nowhere on screen does it show press triangle to sort your inventory. So it's very understandable that many runners, many players may not know about it. You can do all sorts of things with crazy button combinations. You can change the zoom level of your minimap, the zoom level of the camera in general. You can change the tilt.
Which is annoying.
Yeah.
I hate playing with a different tilt.
Does it put you on tilt?
Yes. Okay, we got love chat by Sand Knight. Taking the time lost to say he loves the chat.
Aww.
If you want to say hi to him, you can come to our Discord. I'm trying to find a plug for that. I've been trying to find it for a while. But we have a Discord. If anyone's interested in learning this fantastically weird game, come by. Even if you don't want to learn how to speedrun it, you just want to watch when we do our tournaments and stuff like that. Or we're gonna figure out a next format for the next tournament. We're gonna have to figure something out, and we're definitely gonna put it to the community for a vote because we actually, for the most part, this one was settled once Programmer was able to do a fixed seed tournament. We need this to happen. Now we're gonna have to use a fireball, I think, on Baldwin's side here.
Yeah, thankfully he is up to level 2, so rather than being level 4 spell on, it's a level 8. Because otherwise it feels so bad to use a fireball charge on a flame and not have it die and have to use a second one. Although Sand Knight here using a Holy Scroll on that flame early on, that's pretty big.
I wouldn't really agree with that because for the most part the flame's going to die to other flames. Like, you should usually save it for when you really, really need it. Just use a fireball.
Right.
And now he's a frog. And now the flame is blind. The flame is now threatening him.
Oh, how quickly friends turn to foes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that he's going to try to grind up here. Grinding up, of course, a little bit dangerous. Hoping for those. And because the flame got the experience.
Yep, I was going to say, you don't get the experience if the monster kills it.
Baldwin, meanwhile,
a great resource.
Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. We see Baldwin here is confused, choosing to use a fireball. Absolutely the right move, I think, because when you're confused, fireball charges at least still go exactly where you plan them, but your attacks may not, and you may either whiff or hit your own Palumpa, and of course, in Palumpa percent, if your Palumpa goes down, you go down.
Yes, there's also someone in the community managed to get a Palumpa to floor 40 as a climb. I don't remember who.
I think that was Horza.
Yes, I think it was. I think that's where the icon comes from for him as well. But someone managed to actually get Palumpa to the floor 40. I still have to do my picket run. I acknowledge that. But I also have university right now, and I have literature courses and stuff. So, but
excuses.
Yeah, I'll just drop my university course and start running picket percent. That's what I'll do. But I have to get a picket fused and ready, but low level. That's the only thing. So, but I definitely can, because pickets are some of the most broken monsters in the game, tied with Medivhas, because there's all sorts of glitches tied to them.
Oh yes.
Because I know for a fact you can use pickets double speed to command move and force monsters to stay. They try to attack him, but he moves back before they attack. So you can use them to do that, and that's something I used to do when I was a kid. There's the Holy Scroll on Baldwin's side to make sure the Medivha doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
That's a
I'd
better
say
use
that-
of the Holy Scroll.
Yep. Malicious scroll here. Nice pickup. Be able to confuse a monster. It's not a guaranteed sort of thing in terms of if you're trying to sneak by it, it could still randomly hit you. But we see Baldwin, for all his lack of confidence, is still when you turn a Neva into an ally, the clones that spawn off of it when it gets hit, we haven't talked about those. They're level 1, and although the Neva was allied, because it was, made a friend through a Holy Scroll, it's not really your friend, and so the clones are enemies. Weak enemies, but Baldwin
Still
will have to
enemies.
smash them, yes. And there's that same confusion trap for Send Knight. Send Knight taking the risk, swinging with reckless abandon.
He
does
potentially
become
could hit the Plumpa. The whole point
Yeah.
is not to have the Plumpa die. So he's out of confusion now, but come on.
Yep. you're trying to-
Actually, there is a feature. Actually, not even in the randomizer. On the main menu, if you go to options, you can see the walls around the room are invisible. You can change that so then they are whatever color you want. Like Palmer turned it to bright fluorescent flamingo pink. That was great to comment on. Not annoying at all. But for whatever reason, there is a feature for friendly fire. You can actually hit your own familiars if you turn that on. I don't know why that's there, but it's there.
Yeah, it is. There's also a, I think it's probably an option that they decided no one would ever want this, to make it so that the walls remain opaque. You can see that as runners enter rooms, like Baldwin here on the right, so you can actually peer into the room a little bit. You can there's a potentially unused option to turn that off, from what it looks like.
Yes. Also, I should say there actually is a use for friendly fire, and I do plan to use it in the 100% run attempt.
Ooh.
So that one I'm keeping, like Baldwin, keeping strapped under my belt. But there's actually a reason for that, but it takes setup. I just thought of it now, and I'm going to keep it silent because I don't want anyone else taking my strats.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. Yeah, I was wondering if we would see Baldwin pull something out of his bag of tricks. I remember seeing, I think it was in the glitch hunting stream that you were in, that he mentioned that he was at least working on something. Send Knight getting down to low HP here, but that poison ball having done enough damage that the flame is able to be taken out.
Yeah, that's a really nice thing about it. It looks at the wand, looks away from the wand. There's no mixture magic.
Even though he
only
is...
sadness.
Yeah, even though he's only rocking a -1 copper sword, which has the same damage as the wand. But that wand could also be cursed and then bring him to 0 added attack, which no one wants to see that. I have not been... I saw there that the Plumpa on Send Knight's side is around 21 MP on...
Baldwin's is much lower, I know that.
Yeah, but it's seemingly not that much lower, and he is on a higher floor. But I don't know that he's picked up any pita fruit. Ooh, he's getting down to 5 HP. Palumpa, soft and squishy, cannot take much. Baldwin knowing that would be a kill. Yeah, this is a crazy race in a different sense of the word.
There's no strat, just luck at this point.
Oh,
What
I very
is
much
they
think
have?
that there's a strategy involved, especially around the degree to which you choose to explore. +2 copper shield on
Yep.
Send Knight's side.
Baldwin found that again before the elevator. Also, Baldwin just storming through this. He's almost at floor 10. That is dumb.
Yes, but as Dre Steinwave points out, several hours later, they've made it to floor 20. Yes, this is a little bit of a slower pace, but just as perilous because you're so much weaker. The only thing you have for companionship is literally
a damage sponge.
Yeah. And, a sponge that isn't very absorbentable. We'll say that.
No. The other thing as well is my brother pointed out at the first round that he got to floor 10 in 17 minutes. Baldwin just got to floor 10 at the 11-minute mark with a Palumpa.
Wow.
Just
shows how great Baldwin is. Yeah. And as pointed out in chat, Palumpa being some sort of cat blob, it makes me think of the Game Boy Color version of this game, because there is a Game Boy Color version where there is the Wump and the Ketawump, which is Ketawump is the one that looks like the Palumpa we all know and love.
Also, if you are interested in learning the Game Boy Color version, in our Discord, which I'll again post here, we actually are combined with the Game Boy Color version as well, and they have their own section there. They do all bosses runs. It's a really, really cool game as well. It's slightly different enough that you're not playing the same game twice, but it's just enough Azure Dreams where you're playing Azure Dreams still, and it's definitely worth checking out. Definitely check them out. We always talk about PS1, PS1. No, there's a really cool Game Boy Color game here. I did not know existed until this community came into being.
Yeah,
they approached us and said, "Hey, can we join you?" I never knew you existed. I gotta look this up, and I gotta visit some retro game shops in a bit and see if I can find a copy. I'm definitely interested in it.
The Game Boy Color version is the only version I knew growing up. It was only a year ago that I found out the PlayStation game existed. Baldwin spawning right next to the blue color. I do believe it is allowed to fuse things into your Palumpa, not to fuse your Palumpa into things, but could potentially fuse in a block if they should get so high and get a block egg, or something else. I probably wouldn't have gotten rid of the water ball if Baldwin wasn't hurting for inventory space.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Because I think it was it Didarsis who showed the potential of the water ball, but the water ball casts a water protection spell that lasts a fair while and reduces elemental damage from sources that it's strong against, which would be fire sources in the case of the water ball, down to a quarter. Yes, and before applying your defense, and it also then negates.
We have the immortality glitch.
Yes, it is perfectly permissible to turn your Palumpa into a frog temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
And this basically tricks the game. I believe it does so by marking your tile as unoccupied. However, that does not protect the Palumpa itself.
So he's got to be very careful with the weakened Palumpa. That miss is lucky.
Because frogs do take double damage, and you are able to pick that Palumpa and go. I really like this challenge. It's really, I think, probably testing the runners, to think about situations, what they know still does. 20 damage. That really does not hurt.
The frog's still fine, folks. Don't worry. It's so good. It has 2 HP left. Yes, you can't command the frog. The frog just does its own thing. Baldwin just having a heck of a time with this one single hallway.
Yeah, and not able to directly engage that Kraken for fear of the electroshock damage. He's yep.
There you go.
Setting to have the blender. That way, the Plumpa doesn't somehow, walk on forward right in front of the volcano and even, hits it as you go. That was not something I considered, though. I did not think about the fact that you cannot command a frog. I don't know that I've gotten into that situation very often, because I explore this game more than I do actually play it.
Yeah, and the thing is, like Stray Sidewave says, it's true if you ever try that in real life. Frogs are really hard to command.
Ooh, 1 health. Baldwin.
He took the hit!
Yeah, he did take it. I guess he's saying, all right, well, if it's good enough for you, Plumpa, it's good enough for me.
And we have another Kraken. So many Krakens coming. This is where the Poison Ball would have been more effective than a Blinder Ball, truthfully, if you know the back end is still clear. But he's gonna...
Yeah, but it was not with that... Yeah, could rise, and at the health levels they're at, that's not something you want to play with.
Sandite throwing the troll gun down the hallway. It turns around and shoots him.
Well, I mean, if someone picked you up and threw you down a hallway and you had a...
I'd be more terrified someone can pick me up.
You present
I'm 6'1".
If
someone can pick me up and throw me down a hallway, I'll let them. Like, that's terrifying. It's a losing battle. This game is extremely trolly. This is more of a challenge run because the best of 3's already been settled by the first 2 matches, and both runners wanted to do a friendly third. This is not how the game was normally played. Please don't expect that to be the case. But like, in itself, it is actually a very trolly game. It takes a lot of patience to be able to work things out. Oh, so yes, lots of trolls do. Also, you can hurl monsters down the hallway like that. If someone could do that with me, being 6'1" and like 200 pounds, and I'm not gonna argue. That person must be a Goliath.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Well, we see that runners are keeping things reasonably close here. Though this amount of Krakens, really not what you want to see. They've been having to use a fair number of spell ball charges. I mean, that is to be expected when you Krakens, you don't even have a chance to pick them up because they're too heavy for that. And certainly not something you want to get into a fight with. Let's see how Baldwin... Oh, his Binding Ball's out of charges and did not command his Plumpa to stay in place.
Take the hits.
Yep, he's got the health for it.
Just gonna go for a walk.
Yep.
And it's just also very, very crucial that you know exactly where you're going, because one misstep, like right now, the Gerudo will be actually turning left, and it'll ignore it, or he can just walk right in front of it and then use the Flame Ball. That works too. I would not do that.
Yep, Plumpa has moved out of the way. I would love to see if Sin-Knight, I think they spawned next to the blue collar, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure he did grab it.
Because I would love to see them, unfortunately, unlike a Newell, you wouldn't be able to refill the MP very well, but Plumpa does have a unawakened spell, a healing spell, so...
Yes, it does.
That could come into play, I suppose, if that's something that they choose to do here. My guess is they're just going to be continuing to gun it.
I'm legitimately surprised that there's a floor 13 on both ends right here. Because, again, every time I've tried to do Plumpa percent or anything like that, Plumpa's died like floor 3. I'm too dependent on AI 1. I need to have Plumpa die, truthfully. Like, he's just not good for me. So, but props to them. Going 20 minutes in, floor 13, floor 18, I think, now on Baldwin's side. He's 17. He's almost a Viper Town.
Yep. Unfortunately, normally tickets aren't too bad, but with the week. And does Baldwin... Okay, so Baldwin could feed the medicinal to the Plumpa if he wants to give it just a few more MP.
He's at the mercy of every single... That's not that bad, that one. At least with his Plumpa. Otherwise, it would have been game over for keeping the Plumpa alive.
Right, because just a reminder, if the Plumpa goes down, that is game over.
Their terms, not ours.
Yes. He also cannot put the Plumpa back in the bag, so he's got to carry this, flashing blue lump of junk with him as he goes. They look so... It looks so just sad and pooped, like a dog after you've been running it around outside a lot. It's just sleeping hard.
Speaking of, my dog went somewhere. I don't know where it is. He was sleeping beside me. Had a little nightmare. Woke up and he's dead and he's disappeared again. So I'm just gonna mute myself and push the OB call button. 1 second. Squeaky toys. Doesn't matter where you are in the house. If you squeak a squeaky toy, he'll approach. But I don't think this is a strat we're missing out on. Also, again, we've seen Viper Town now. This is dumb.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Props to Baldwin. Just 21. All right, let's go for a floor 40 climb with this dilapidated Plumpa. Although at this point, hopefully he doesn't get blinded, or else that might be the end.
Yeah, unfortunately, if Sand Knight is down on 14.
Yeah, that means it's again.
Yeah.
Hi, Obi. Welcome back.
I will send a link to Sand Knight to join us for interview. After letting them. Or I'll send that over and let Baldwin know that he can stop this crazy run if he so chooses.
Yes. I think that marks him as winner. If I do +3, I can't remember.
I think maybe you need to hit...
the done.
Just on Baldwin's side and not end stream, please. All right, we've been joined by Sand Knight.
There we go. Yes, Baldwin does not have a microphone. I know that. Yes. Sand Knight, I gotta ask you one thing.
Go on.
How do you feel like troll bowguns? How do you like that?
That wasn't too bad, actually. I had a decent shield, and I knew I was gonna get shot a lot. I could have.
You got shot 9 times.
Yeah, but that was worth it. I mean, turning back and fighting was not better at that point. And I know I could tank it. Obviously, it was probably kind of funny, but that was still the play, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, no, this is the Baldwin. But for the first game, you guys got to 37 and 40 respectively.
Yes.
Looks like Baldwin is just dying there on the screen. The floor 37, you did not have Queenie for majority of your run. He did the strats of a Stream Wand and Ice Queenie.
Yeah.
And it was able just to absolutely decimate the tower.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because every Glacier that walked up to him died. Every Dragon came up to him and died. And he had enough firepower and fire spells to kill the Golems at the end of it. So I was like, oh, okay. And then on your side, you were without Queenie. Every egg you hatched was useless.
Yes.
You ended up with a stealth, which I don't think anyone has ever willingly used in a run. You went every opposite direction that Baldwin basically did. So you went towards the monsters while Baldwin ended up going towards the elevator.
Okay.
It's like, so does everything possible was just not for you today.
But honestly, the first run, like, if we remove the concept of a race, because obviously I didn't see Baldwin's play, this is probably one of the run I'm the most proud of ever. This was
Yes.
just madness. Honestly, everything was, like you say, against me. And obviously, losing CUNY just after finding Stream 1, I was like, oh my god, okay, I'm going to use this strat. And then, oh, okay, no, I'm not using this strat. And I got to 37, and who knows where it might have ended if I continued. But, I mean, honestly, it was so good. I felt so good about that race that I wasn't worried about losing to Baldwin at all. It was just like, okay, that was such a great showing. But sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I was just going to say that throughout you were keeping pace really well. That 37 to 40 without being CUNY-less for so long against such a terrifying runner and against so many obstacles that the tower is throwing at you. And it wasn't even like, the tower was just dumping, like 20 ice rock balls in your lap. It was, just as terrifying as ever. And you did, you played a blinder there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm super happy to have lost to Baldwin. If anyone, the guy's absolutely great, and he deserved it. I'm sure, 100%.
Sure.
Did you know what floor he got to at the Plumpa by chance?
Sorry, what?
Do you know what floor he got to at the Plumpa by chance?
I don't know. Where is that?
He got to floor 23.
Yeah, like I said,
That's dumb.
absolutely no shame losing to this guy. I mean, he's just so good.
Yeah,
sure.
But I've got to speak about one thing, though, considering second race. I took probably like 5 minutes to do the greatest fusion there ever was. And I lost it on this next floor to a paralysis trap. I'm not salty often during this game, but I was there. I was like, seriously?
No. Yeah,
seriously, though?
Yeah, you spent so much time fusing the Plump with the Cyclone, the Kraken,
Cyclone,
and then into Queenie, and you're like, okay, I'm good. You even had an electric eel Queenie that was wind that could paralyze things.
Yes.
And you were doing so well, and then right after that, it's like, it's like he had a paralysis trap. It's like, and Queenie's gonna go defend him against the Garuda. It's like, and that Garuda just wrecked him. I'm like,
yep.
Well, that was a waste of everyone's time on that one.
Yeah, not much I could do there. I mean, I couldn't know there was going to be a paralysis trap or any way I could avoid it. Yeah.
Of course, but I was glad to see that because that would have been really a differentiating factor, and we saw later on that Baldwin was encountering cases where there were just a lot of terrifying monsters kind of all coming at once that having the ability to buy yourself a few turns with paralysis on them could have made a big difference. I should say that Baldwin does not have a microphone, so won't be joining us for the interview portion, but does pass along his thanks to us, the commentators, and to Sandlight for the race.
Aww.
He mentions that there were a couple of times where he almost dies, and that you, Sandlight, could have easily taken the match.
Yeah, I'm sure I was a contender for a long part. Most importantly, the first one, I guess. Second one, probably a little bit less so.
Well, you actually were closer than you think.
Oh, what was I? I was gonna ask, like, how much floor difference was there when I actually died on 20 something?
I want to say he was like on. Was he near 30 or something? I can't remember. But like the rate you were approaching him, then the more resources you had, the better resources to catch up to him overall. By the time he was done killing his like 7th killer or something like that, he had basically no more resources left.
Okay, so I could have had a chance there. Yeah, well, that's interesting. I'll watch it.
Yeah, he killed like 4 tyrants and like 5 killers and 2 floors in the same hallway because it regenerated the hallways.
Nice.
And so it's like, ugh.
Oh yeah.
But
all right.
Again, I think that's it. I think we're done.
I should mention that Baldwin will be moving along, but Sand Knight is not out of this yet. He still has a chance in the second chance bracket, and I wish you good luck there. I would like to say a few bits of thanks. One for our runners. Shawnee's made the link there. I do encourage you to go follow the runners for putting on such a wonderful show for us.
There's us putting a good show on for hopefully everyone else.
Yeah, I
don't know how to plug that.
Yep. And I would like to give my sincere thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting us and just always being a pleasure to work with, making sure that we have what we need to put on a great show for you guys. And we hope you continue to support them. So with that, Shawnee, any closing words?
It'd help if I didn't mute myself. Honestly, I'm really impressed by both runners. I'm really happy you guys can go back and watch this. You'll absolutely be entranced by how the other one plays. The main thing is I am so sad the fusion did not pan out on Sandknight's side because everything was just so close to being the Sandknights just tearing through the tower.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't really have much to say other than, again, thank you, programmer, for making this random de-randomizer, whatever. Like, this is all possible because of him. I linked our Discord once again, just to say if anyone wants to join. We are nearing 400 members. We're at 382. I will do my 100 member challenge run someday.
Nice.
But I got nothing else to say. So.
And just one final word. Thank you, Baldwin, for doing these races against me. And most importantly, he's not only moving forward, he's moving forward to the finals. So see you there, bro.
Yeah, because you're going to lose the second chance round 7.
Yep.
And then you still have to get potentially through, is it Horza?
Poulet.
Yeah, Poulet, Wuga.
Freak. Yeah, Wuga, exactly.
Yeah, so it's going to be a heck of a second chance bracket, that's for sure.
All right.
Yep.
Let's have some fun, guys. Let's do some more Azure Dreams later on. But thank you very much, chat and everyone. See you around.
Bye, everyone.
All right, take care. Bye.